It really is about that communication. It's about the teacher being clear, students understanding, families understanding, but then also having open dialogue. So there's opportunity for ongoing communications as questions arise, because as you get into these processes, there are probably going to be questions. And so because this is so new in instruction, so new in the learning experience, it really is about communication, questioning, and learning together, because really teachers are learning this just as students and families are learning it too.
Hello and welcome to the smartsocial.com podcast. In today's program, we're talking about AI for student success, being productive and learning future skills. But even better, we have two incredible superintendents with us today. They're going to give us insights, advice, ideas from their district. They're even going to tell us about their Southeast Asia trip and how AI is helping their family to plan it and some of those nuances. If you're a parent and you're watching this and you're like, I hear about AI all the time, great. We're going to make sure that it's easy for your family to use, to make sure your kids learn the AI skills they need to enhance their love for learning, their educational experience, and preparation for their bright future. And at the end, we're going to do a round table, a round robin, where both of these superintendents answer lots of different answers. I'm so excited to be here today. Welcome to both of the superintendents.
Hello, my name is Andre Pecina. I'm the superintendent of Corcoran Unified School District in sunny Central California. We're a rural school district of 3,300 students and 7 schools.
Hello, I'm Kirk Shrum. I'm superintendent of Visalia Unified School District. We're in the Central Valley of California. We have about 32,000 students spread across 42 school sites.
Let's dive right on into it, gentlemen. There's 3 major AI tools you both are familiar with. There's the ChatGPT that we can see on the screen, and that's owned by OpenAI.com. It's the original AI tool that we're all using. It has full access to the web in most circumstances. It creates really interesting images. But then there's Google Gemini. It's just obviously owned by Google, full access to the web. Google probably owns most of the internet, figuratively and literally speaking. And also it has limited image creation. It's getting better by the day. And then there's Claude, which is owned by Anthropic, perhaps the best at reasoning. It has no images, no internet access as of the time of today. Superintendents, I want to hear from you. How is your district and you personally and professionally using one of these 3? What are your ideas?
So right now, we're very much in an exploratory phase. As many of these technologies are new, we're right now looking at policy. We're looking at best practices. We're looking at how can teachers incorporate this into classrooms, and then how do we advise students and families on how to use it to enhance learning, not take the place of learning.
I love that. And Superintendent Pecina, can you give us your insights? How is your district using AI, and which one of these tools are they using the most?
Yeah, so because it's so new, we are also exploring policy and looking at how we would leverage it both at the district level as well as at our school sites and the classrooms. I do have one innovative principal at the high school that's actually doing a deeper dive on how we might leverage it there first. So that's an area that we'd want to look at to help students research and study, but not necessarily take the place of writing a paper or doing their math homework. And so that's kind of what we're at right now, is the exploratory phase as well.
Yeah, and I want to dive into those 2 things. First, I want to talk a little bit about how every parent who's watching this right now can use AI in their pocket. And second, we're going to listen to a real 7th grade English teacher and how the English teacher suggests that kids not cheat, but rather brainstorm using AI if you're going to use it, parents, at home. So the first thing I want to show parents is AI prompt engineering. A lot of people are talking about this, but I want to show you exactly what it is. Let's dive in for 2 minutes so that every parent who watches this knows a little bit about what you put into AI and how to get what you want out. Parents, I want to show you prompt engineering. Prompt engineering essentially is asking a question in a specific way to get the best answer from AI. Now let's show you an example. Let's learn how we can cook better using AI. We're going to use this paragraph of text, and I'm going to analyze it using colors. Now, we don't put colors into AI, but I think they're helpful for us to understand what we're doing here. First, we're going to tell AI how it should think so it can unlock all the knowledge in that subject or domain. You'll see right here, I wrote, pretend you're a chef that makes healthy food. Next, we're going to write in green, I want to make something delicious for dinner for my 2 kids and wife. We're going to tell it what we're going to do with the information so it has context. Next, we're going to give it specific input. I have 3 frozen chicken breasts, 3 sweet potatoes, some broccoli, a lemon, some eggs, almond milk, chickpeas, and so on. And then last, make me 2 recipe options with measurement instructions and clear steps a beginner like me can follow. We're defining the way that the outcome should be formatted or how many outcomes there should be. Now let's go ahead and take this and dive on into AI. Now we're over to ChatGPT version 4.0, and we're going to drop that exact paragraph in and ask it to give us the recipe. So option 1, lemon herb chicken with quinoa and roasted vegetables. It's going to give us the ingredients list of exactly what we need from the refrigerator. It might even get creative and throw in a couple other things it hopes that we have. In addition, it gives us instructions for a beginner like me. Thaw the chicken, preheat the oven, prepare the vegetables, step by step. And you can ask it for more information from there. I want to add this or do this and so on. Now let's have AI help us create a morning routine for a teenager. The first thing we're going to tell it is pretend you are an expert at a morning routines with a background as a life coach, a nutritionist, and a morning person. Sometimes I'll even say with 20 plus years of experience. And that tells AI how it should think because it has all of the world's data from the internet. We're basically saying, put on this hat or this hat and give us the answer from this perspective so that it can unlock all the knowledge in that subject or domain. The next thing we put in green here is help me to become a morning person by creating a morning routine in a timeline. So we're telling it what we're going to do with the information so it has context. This is a great example for a teen to use AI to better their life. Now, in red, these are the tasks I need to complete before school. Exercise, take out the dog for a walk, shower, get ready, eat breakfast. And we're giving it specific input. The more, the better, believe it or not. Some of my friends say, you're kind of crazy, you're giving it all this data, and then they are shocked at the outcome. And last, define the way the outcomes should be formatted or how many outcomes there should be. So my goal is to be 5 minutes early for school each day. You could put 10 maybe. I wake up at 6:30 and I need to ride my bike to school at 7:30 to be on time. Let's go ahead and put this into ChatGPT. Okay, we're back over to ChatGPT. I'm going to click this little button in the upper left to create a new chat. It's that easy. Then I'm going to drop in the prompt that we just created and I'm going to press enter. Now, this is so neat. Let's create a morning routine for a teenager who wants to optimize their day to get ready to learn at school. Okay, so parents, you can see how brilliant this is. That's a teaser. Our program for those school districts that are partners of ours, you get an amazing AI deep dive for parents on really how to tutor their kids, do all kinds of really neat stuff. Now, I have a question. Superintendent Shrum, I want to know, you're using this all the time. Actually, you're going on a vacation. Talk to us for just a minute about what are you planning and how is it helping?
Sure. Well, what I love about that, first of all, is, the quality of what you get and the outcome directly connects to the quality and the time that you're putting on the front end. And so that's a great example. And so for myself personally, I'm actually planning a trip overseas this winter break, first time. Going to these countries in Southeast Asia. And so I'm using it to ask about hotels, ask about itineraries with outdoor activity, right?
Yeah.
The more specificity I put in, the better itineraries it's giving me. And so it's helping me plan a trip to places I've never been before that's going to make it a much more valuable experience.
Yeah. And in your case, I've been there and I told you, hey, you're going to Vietnam in Hanoi, go see this attraction. And you said, oh yeah, AI has already recommended that, which is really neat. Now, for the parents watching this, AI might not be perfect at every single hotel because things change. But when it comes to a country, a city, activities, all kinds of fun stuff that have been there a long time, it's really good at that. I'm landing in Salt Lake City. I'm going to do this, or in Chicago, and we're driving. What should we see on the way? It really is terrific because those kinds of big things don't really change a whole lot. Now, parents, again, for those of you that are members because your school district has signed up for our 450 resources, keep in mind there's 6 of these. We're only going to dive into one more, then we're diving into the superintendent's insight. And remember, for those of you districts watching, we do 54 plus live parent events. Gone are the days of one social media safety night. We do them all year long. We have teens in our program, and we have a premium parent newsletter that's phenomenal in 12 different languages. No one is left behind. This is what we teach all year long. So exciting. A lot of great stuff. Shout out to my team. Now, parents, many of you have asked us, how do teachers think students should be using AI in the classroom? Such a great question. Let me share how some teachers suggest your child can use AI in the classroom.
Using AI to brainstorm early in the process, that's probably safer. The earlier in the process, the better. I worry, though, about kids who are not confident in their own writing. They're more likely to be like, oh, this is what this computer spat back and it looks really good. I'm going to maybe change 1 or 2 words. To me, that's not creative. If you're really struggling for ideas, if a teacher gives you a prompt on the motivation of a certain character in a book that you have actually read, but you have no idea what the teacher's asking you, sure, I think it's okay to look at a computer-generated response to that. The only way to handle these admittedly very gray areas right now is constant communication. Hey, when is it okay in my writing process, in my researching process, when is it okay for me to use these tools? As long as that communication is clear, AI generated text can be useful in an early stage in all these processes.
Superintendent Pecina, I'd like to get your insight here. What is your advice to parents as they approach these new tools? What's a helpful dialogue that parents can have with their kids so that kids can retain more information and reduce cheating?
Yeah, I think it's what this teacher said, Mr. Carson, is, how, at what point in time of the assignment are they actually utilizing AI? And as a parent, you actually engage with their student, especially in this middle school or high school, which a lot of times parents aren't engaged with their students at that point, right? Are they engaged with them to say, hey, what assignment might you have this week? Oh, I have this big research paper I have to do. Oh, how are you going to start that? Like that, those are the conversations that I actually think would benefit the student, but also benefit the teacher as well, because now the parent's engaged in the student's learning versus just finding the grade on the grade checker that's online and say like, why'd you get an F on this paper? So I think it's the beginning.
Love that. Superintendent Shrum, what is your advice to parents to have an earlier discussion instead of later so that we can use these tools in a positive way and also be a part of the process?
So I echo everything that's been said. It really is about that communication. It's about the teacher being clear, students understanding, families understanding, but then also having open dialogue. So there's opportunity for ongoing communications as questions arise, because as you get into these processes, there are probably going to be questions. And so because this is so new in instruction, so new in the learning experience, it really is about communication, questioning, and learning together, because really teachers are learning this just as students and families are learning it too.
Yeah, communication, questioning. I like that. That's excellent. So the next step is I want to talk really quickly about the 6 AI benefits for future success. Parents, if you're wondering, why are we doing this? It's because many times these tools are helping your kids with skill development. They can learn social skills, interview, networking skills, coding, or other skills with AI-based platforms. Again, it must be with a trusted adult over their shoulder. That could be a teacher, counselor, parents, you, a grandparent. In addition, there's a helpful way to use it for research and writing, utilizing AI as a tutor or research assistant early in the process with teacher's permission. Check in with your school district. Also, personalized learning using AI tools for tailored study plans, adaptive learning, sparking curiosity. Every child learns uniquely, so some will learn visually, some love baseball, and so they want to learn the Pythagorean theorem in relation to baseball, which it does really well, looking at angles. In addition, there's career guidance, there's career readiness, there's personal development using AI apps for self-improvement. Superintendent Pecina, I'd like to get your advice. What did we miss here? What is your favorite out of these 6?
I really like using it for research and writing. So being a person who writes a lot, I don't use AI to really write the stuff that I do, but what I'll do is have it check things like the tone or the succinctness of the writing. And I think that that's helpful for folks who are trying to write. And then also research, right? Because I can use Google, and I'll give you an example. Say, I want to know, what goals do districts set for themselves, just to measure their success, right? What KPIs do they develop? And if I do it on Google, it's going to give me hundreds of websites. But if I do it in AI, it'll actually create a summary. So I think that's very beneficial. And then one more that I've been kind of toying with is Google has a tool that you can upload content and it creates its own podcast and summarizes it and kind of creates some like study guides and whatnot, fact sheets. So just been toying with that the last couple of weeks just to kind of see how might that be useful in the future.
Yeah, I've heard about that tool. That's super fascinating. You can upload a lot, and then when you're driving or traveling, it creates 2 people talking about the content in a really friendly way. It's very scary, very cool. Superintendent Shrum, what's your top 1 or 2 out of what you see on the screen, and why parents should maybe have that early dialogue with how to use these tools in a positive way?
Yeah, so I'm drawn really to that personalized learning experience. And so when we think about students going into careers, whether from high school or college or whatever that might look like, businesses and others are looking for who are those self-starters. When we think about a lot of those content developer type jobs that are a new emerging field, it is about students who are motivated. It is about students who want to learn more and grow beyond maybe the core or the foundation of what they've learned. So who can really take these tools and use them to advance their learning that they then apply into whatever career field that they're in?
Yeah. Such a great point. I love that. So many superintendents have been on our podcast say, we're here to make sure these kids become resilient, learning, smart kids that can overcome hurdles while they're in our safe space here in the district, and then also move on to be safe and successful in the future. And I love that personalized learning thing that you just said. That's terrific. Superintendents, I want to thank both of you for joining us here today for AI for student success. Superintendent Shrum, thanks so much. What's your final thought for parents when they're wondering about AI? Should I use it? Should I not with my kids? What would your advice be?
Well, I think that it is a tool that's here to stay. And so it's about how do we learn about it together? How do we use it to advance our learning and get smarter and get better at what we're doing? And so I think it's a new tool that we have to learn and explore together.
And Superintendent Pecina, what is your advice for parents who are saying, I just don't have the time? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I just think that, being a parent myself, we have to make the time. We have to carve out the time for ourselves to be able to be knowledgeable about what our students are accessing. And so if AI is a tool that they're going to be using, then we need to be able to carve out the time to learn it too, and then be able to share that with our kids, how they can use that effectively.
Thank you to both of our superintendents who so kindly gave their time here today to give us their insights, their advice. To all the parents watching right now, you can learn more at smartsocial.com, where we keep kids safe on social media so they can be successful and someday shine online. I'm Josh Ochs, the host. We'll see you again soon. Have a great day.